Hello there, folks! Welcome to ZSR! We have got another match for you tonight! We are here about to start watching. We're going to be watching Thirwolf versus Knightcrawler get going here with their Swiss round, and we've got Trails and Victor here to provide commentary and let you know what is going on. So have a lovely time. We're about to get rolling.
So hey, good afternoon or good night, everybody, depending on where you are. This is the Zelda 2 Randomizer tournament, the standard 2019 tournament. And today we have a very good match between Thirwolf and Knightcrawler, both seasoned players. And yeah, I have Trails with me. So hey man, how is everything going?
What's up, dudes? Everything's going great. This is going to be a good match. Can't wait. There you go. And they both start off Nightcrawler using the Dragon Ward sprite and Thirwolf using the Dark Nut sprite. And they both immediately find Mido Town and turn around because they don't have the medicine or fairy or jump to get the down step.
Yeah, the sprite that Knightcrawler is using was done by himself, and the sprite that Thirwolf is using was done by a guy named Jackimus. So those are very cool.
Did you see that, Victor? This orange iron knuckle is only worth 30 XP.
Yeah.
It could be worth up to 150 XP, and they can be kind of a decent grinder, and especially with these Swiss flags. You're kind of relying on P-bag drops, key drops, and one-up drops early on to try to gain your levels really quickly and enter palaces and finish them. You can see Thirwolf just got a one-up drop off of it was either a Mew or a loader. Okay, it was a Mew. So having those guys only 30 XP is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, last night we had a seed that was very, very, very tough on experience, the first one, and then your race was pretty generous. So yeah, this can happen. Lately, with the latest update, the randomizer has been a little bit more generous with experience, but sometimes you get those where you cannot find it that easily.
Oh my goodness, Knightcrawler just finds a 500 point P bag. He's gonna instantly get 223 if he so chooses. It looks like he's just gonna go for the 2-1-2 and try to get the attack 3. I like that play.
Yeah, getting that attack level is pretty important very early. It makes things quicker and it helps you survive more than getting health or magic levels.
Early Death Mountain setting, he doesn't look at the caves. I don't blame him, but that kind of in my race last night, that kind of bit me. That came back to bite me. So Early Death Mountain could be kind of a big deal. And the thing you'll notice is all these enemies happen to be their vanilla counterparts. Where there would be a small enemy, there's a random small enemy, and where there's a large enemy, there's a random large enemy. Whereas in the next round of the brackets, everything will be mixed up. There will be large enemies everywhere, and some of these encounters are going to be really difficult to deal with. We have a grass tile setting on Thirwolf's screen. Let's see what he picks up once he leaves this graveyard encounter.
Yeah, these Swiss flags have no mixed enemies, so it's mostly easy, but there is these desert encounters that have like 5 enemies, and those are big enemies but very easy enemies. They are Geldarms in the vanilla game, so those get switched by Dairas and big enemies that lag the game and make that encounter pretty impossible. This one doesn't look so tough, but sometimes it is pretty impossible.
Oh man, there's desert encounters sometimes when you have a red Dyra fall on your head, and then you're surrounded by red and orange Dyras and gorillas behind. Oh, there's encounters. Sometimes you have to up an A out of it.
Yeah, definitely, it's faster to up an A out of those. So we're gonna get a first spell in the town of Saria for Thirwolf, and it is the fairy spell. What are your thoughts on getting the fairy spell early?
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword. See, I love getting the fairy spell early. It allows you to get an early down stab. However, it now puts all of the palaces in logic at this point. The raft could possibly be in P6 or P5 even. So it's a double-edged sword. It's got its benefits and it's got its cons as well. Go west to find a glove, man. These guys are so lucky.
Yeah, and we got another hint about P-Back being in Dead Mountain, so that rules out one of the two locations.
Knightcrawler finds the glove in what looks like Heart Container Cave. Free for the taking, no boulder block or anything. We could be looking at a jet ski.
Yeah, it's kind of
Trails,
looking
you're,
like...
you're ahead of comms a little bit. Are you watching on the preview player that was linked?
I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am watching on the preview player.
That's weird. Might just be taking its sweet time to sync up, because that was well ahead. But alright.
Okay, I apologize. I'll try to be later on when I talk about. How far ahead was it? Would you?
About 5-10 seconds. I'll write down in the comms channel what you ought to be seeing.
Okay. I'll just wait a few seconds before I talk on stuff. And Nightcrawler took a quick look in Death Mountain, says no thank you, and continues on. I don't blame him. And he finds a cave, but it's a medicine cave. So this is another item cave. Possibly the raft.
Yeah, in both matches last night, this cave was pretty important. So let's hope it is in this.
I have got no idea what that was.
Yeah. I'm as puzzled as you. I kind of believe that's the raft, but I'm not sure. We'll have to check when he pauses.
We'll see on the on Thirwolf's screen when he finds it. Thirwolf is entering Jump Cave. This is a pretty interesting play. He must not have seen the other side of this and expects there to be a big payout. It could be possible. I don't think Nightcrawler used this cave. Ooh, red diary with a low ceiling. I don't think he used this cave to pass through, but let's see what's on the other side.
Yeah, getting Dairas in a low ceiling is pretty difficult. There's no way to avoid the access, and you kind of have to lure them out. But the IA of those is pretty good, and they don't cooperate.
50 experience points for the red Dara. Come on, game. At least they make up for it with the 500 point P bags.
So we see Nightcrawler in the town of Rauru. Let's see what spell he finds there.
And this did put Thirwolf in the area where the glove is, I think. I'm not sure we saw the item out of the trophy cave, but
And yeah, I can confirm that Knightcrawler has a raft. It is in the third slot of his menu.
So these guys have, let me count this correctly. The raft, access to easy glove, or Thirwolf didn't have the raft yet, but he will soon find the raft, more than likely, the glove, and has the fairy spell. There's not really too much stopping him from beating this game at this point. I mean, he needs to get Reflect and Thunder, but besides that, this game is kind of giving itself, and it kind of raises the question, when you get dealt a seed like this, it makes you wonder, what is it going to want me to do? This seed, it kind of makes you raise an eyebrow. It's being kind of free, probably going to be some sort of troll that ends up messing with these guys. Maybe spell item required for Reflect behind a Guma, possibly. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Or something required the hammer or the boots. Who knows? This game can throw surprises at any time. And we have GP on the west.
And you always know, you always can tell, because it's when the game seems so free, right? When they give you things so free, like Fairy Glove and Raft right there, you know that there's something that's going to be blocking you. And Thirwolf enters Palace 2. You could tell he stabbed a statue and a red jar dropped. That's how you can tell the difference between Palace 2 and Palace 5, because they have identical columns. But when you stab the Iron Knuckle statue in the front of Palace 2, a red jar will drop every time.
So Nightcrawler just got a hint that Thirwolf got before, that the medicine is on the west. And yeah, it is. I don't know why Thirwolf didn't find the glove or the raft. Maybe that wasn't exactly the section where those caves were. But yeah, he's taking the gamble here in Palace 2.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what he's doing. You know, he's got the fairy spell. He can probably cast it with 5 magical containers. There's unlimited keys in here because Swiss round flags contain extra keys. And as we talk about this, he finds the item room. But there is a 1 in 5 chance that he will be blocked in the direction in which the boss is at this point. Or 1 in 4.
And it is a flute, which could be required or not. So this could be a big play.
Yeah, blue bot drippers, I mean, you might be able to get like a magic container or a red jar or something from them, possibly a pea bag, but as far as dripper goes, it doesn't get much worse.
So we see Nightcrawler about to get his fairy spell. And the only thing we're missing is the medicine, which should be in one of the 5 caves. I don't know what cave we're missing. Maybe the magic container cave?
Yeah, that sounds about right. A magic container cave. Indications in chat from Amazing Ampharos is that there's a boulder block cave, so that is probably where the medicine.
Oh, I didn't see that. So Thirwolf's gamble pays up. He gets something that could be required, and he gets to place the gem very early.
And Knightcrawler, sees P2 and turns around and decides to walk away with the glove and the fairy spell. So what have we seen on the West? I saw GP and I saw Palace too. Have we seen a third Palace yet?
That's a good question, and I believe we haven't.
So if I were Thirwolf at this point, I would probably, once I found the raft and the glove, just sail east. After getting that flute, yeah, I could see the boulder block cave on the right hand, the bottom right hand, now the left hand side of Thirwolf, which is an indication that there's an item behind that, because boulder block caves only reside in front of, well, boulders only reside in front of caves in which items are, and Thirwolf finds perhaps pass through caves, decides to turn around. Oh, never mind, decides to go through and ends up by the desert tile.
So yeah, in this randomizer, the boulder blocked caves only hide item caves, but in the Zelda 2 randomizer classic, that doesn't happen that way. Anything can be in a cave. So we see Thirwolf has a lot more levels than Knightcrawler. That's kind of a good indicator of how good the player is in terms of fighting technique.
Okay, so Thirwolf just is exiting Heart Container Cave, so he now has the glove. Yes, Knightcrawler is skipping P2. I mean, I don't know what to say about that play. I mean, he knows it's there. It's right next to GP. He could do it, you know. Death Mountain holds the 500p bag, which is great news for Thirwolf, because I know personally he doesn't like to do Death Mountain typically. But
yeah, I believe he's a player that values the routing a lot. So as GP is on the west, he is thinking about doing first the exploration and then the palaces on the east, and then coming back and doing the palaces in the west. But yeah, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see what happens here, if the flute is required or not.
it seemed like a pretty easy palace too. Item right to the left, go down the stairs to the right, and there's the boss. Not that long, so it probably won't hold Knightcrawler up. But at this point, Thirwolf has a pretty decent lead with one gem placed and not having to deal with that later on. Plus, he has the flute, which could be possibly required or very helpful on the eastern continent, possibly helping him get through a River Devil block.
And we have Knightcrawler in the Thirsty Lady town of Naburu. And he gets the hint about the flute, so that won't be a problem for him. And he gets the shield spell out of the town of Naburu. Meanwhile, Thirwolf is gonna get his raft out of Medicine Cave.
I agree with Amazing Empress. The seed, I mean, however, it could be a jet seed. It could be very free. However, it is pointing to the fact that you might have to dig Palace 4 for a spell item to get the Reflect spell, or dig Palace 5, which would be terrible, but you know what? That stuff happens. These seeds, the way they generate, there's usually some sort of curveball. And with the Swiss round flags, I've noticed the overworld generator is like really mean, like typically 100% of the time.
Yeah, it is designed to be mean.
Like, look at all that schwamp on Thirwolf's side.
And he uses the fairy fit technique to go through the bridge without having to cross it, which is a glitch we use a lot in this randomizer. Meanwhile, Knightcrawler is in the town of Darunia, and he's gonna get his upstep technique and maybe some information about the child.
You can see Thirwolf stepping on the random forest tiles because it is possible that you need the hammer to get into New Kasuto Town. It's put on random. So it is possibility that he needs to find a hammer in order to get a spell. I agree with Buzz Thunder in chat. Denver does suck. Okay, and Knightcrawler is going to pick up the spell item information. Guma sits on the child. Oh my goodness. That is awful news. But it's news though, you know? Go needs to find a hammer, which is decent news. It's good. It's good.
Yep.
So right now, these guys have everything. They really just need to find Reflect and Thunder, and then they can just go ahead and start nailing these palaces out. You can see Thirwolf gets the shield spell from the town of Naburu, and you know that can be helpful in sketchy situations, but you know it's not what he wanted to see right now.
I think I saw a glimpse of Three Eye Rock, but I'm not sure if it was that. It was a Nightcrawler screen on the southwest of from where he is. So we'll see if that is a Three Eye Rock.
Well, the hidden Kasuto is set onto random. I don't know if the chat's indicating that they saw the forest tile that you need the hammer or what, but if it's there, it's a free spell. But at this point, technically, you need a hammer for it. And Buzz Thunder in chat says he's seen it.
Oh, it is not a Three Eye Rock. It was just a part of the mountains. And yeah, but we got a hint about the hammer. However, it could be on the water tile, the hammer, and it could require the boots. So things are starting to cook up for disaster. So let's see how tragic this ends up being.
Yeah, I have. I smell disaster.
So both players in the maze. Thirwolf picked something up, but I don't know what that was. Knightcrawler is about to pick it up. It was a hard container. There are two items in Maze Island and a palace. And the boots are on the other item location in Maze Island, so both players are gonna get it very soon. Thirwolf already got it, and Knightcrawler is about to do so. So Thirwolf gets out of Maze Island as well as Knightcrawler, and they're gonna keep exploring. Let's see if they find the water tile, the desert tile, and the Peaback Caves. And we see a river devil that is blocking a road. We don't know where that road leads, but
This is this is kind of a big deal here because Thirwolf doing his placing that gem, getting that item, now has access to that road,
yeah.
which could be kind of a big deal. No, Knightcrawler does this encounter the old-fashioned way with the fairy spell. He must not be too comfortable with the the fairy feet technique. And it looks like he worked his way around Dig Shake Desert to get into that area where the River Devil was blocking, but I may be wrong. Yeah, the River Devil goes to a road to nowhere. So unless there's a three-eyed rock, then that food's kind of pointless. But still, I mean, Thirwolf going out of the way and placing that gem and getting that item was the play. You know, it was right by the raft tile. It was easy to get. He's got one gem up, but this is still a very close match. I would not count Knightcrawler out.
Yeah, and thankfully Thirwolf is going through the Dig Shake Desert before going through the road, because that road is pretty trolly. Meanwhile, Knightcrawler is in one of the Peaback Caves where he will find an item.
Probably going to be the hammer, but not really sure. There's 4 spots you can check. There was talks in chat of the Kasuto town being hidden, so the hammer cannot be in New Kasuto if it's hidden behind the hammer. And it's a pea bag.
So yeah, there's still the other Peaback Cave, the water tile, and the desert tile to be found.
I really want the spell item in Palace 5 to be required. I don't know about you, but I want to see a nasty P5 dig for a required spell item.
We all enjoy a little bit of suffering, so yeah, I agree with you.
Other than that, it's looking to be a pretty jet seed. I wonder what fire is going to be linked to, and I don't think we really talked about that. The people in chat that don't know, the fire spell, which is generally useless, and these flags have been linked to another spell. So they could have fire linked to thunder. Fire could be linked to reflect. Fire could be linked to literally anything. So it could be very, very useful, or it could be linked to spell, which would be very not useful. But either way, it's another chance for them to not have to dig that glove out of that spell item out of Palace 5 that they got the hint for. No,
Yeah.
fire spell can't be linked to fire spell. Jopo 1226.
And we see Knightcrawler in the other Peaback Cave. We call it the Risen or Risen Peaback Cave.
It's
and
poked.
Knightcrawler behind.
It's poked by that orange wizard. I really like the. Yeah, it's definitely the hammer. There was only like 1 or 2 other spots it could have been. I don't know why these guys aren't killing these orange guys, because they can be worth up to 300 experience points, and early game like this is a good kill and a good easy get for some XP. I guess they're just trying to go as fast as possible. Let's see, Knightcrawler just bounces over him. I mean, I get it. We find another palace, and it is Palace 1.
So have we seen both overworld palaces in the east, or is this the first?
This is the first palace that we've seen on the eastern continent, on the overworld. We've seen Valley of Death, but we haven't seen the entrance to it, I don't think. Well, Amazing Emperors, 300 for taking literally 1 or 2 seconds to kill an enemy could put them over the edge. Knightcrawler is actually overflowing his experience to dump it into the gem using that strat. So 300 would have put him close to the 800 that he would need to go above the current life level to get the next level on the gem. So it might not seem like that much, but it will help him in the long run. And killing those orange guys takes like 1 second. They aren't usually that tough, and it can usually be very beneficial. Sometimes they roll 70 experience points, and it's like Thirwolf finds Horsey first, Mr. Ed.
So yeah, it's hard to decide at which point you start to not care about experience. Some players do it like about when your next level is like 2000, so that's kind of a way to measure that. And another way to measure things out is if you place your gem when you are 334, you're guaranteed to end up the game with attack 5. So some players use that train of thought to guide themselves into the experience world. And we see a water tile. So let's see what lies in there. It's not the hammer because the players already got it. And it is a magic container. Meanwhile, Knightcrawler is in the item room in Palace 1. And it has another magic container.
Looks like Thirwolf's gonna enter VOD. He's got the entrance in his vision. Let's see what he does. Oh, and there's the other palace, so he doesn't need whatchamacallit, the flute, and it's either Palace 3 or...
Yep.
Okay, this is Palace 3. Oh, what were you gonna say, Victor?
I was gonna say that the time that Knightcrawler saved by not exploring Palace 2, he just lost it to exploring Palace 1 and getting the item. So things are pretty even at this point, I'd say, except for the additional gem that Thirwolf has.
Yeah, Thirwolf has that gem, and if this lead stays the way it does for the next 30, 45 minutes, or however long it takes him to beat the seed, Thirwolf is always going to have that Palace 2 above Knightcrawler. So at the end of the game, while Thirwolf is entering GP, Knightcrawler will be entering Palace 2. So probably a very smart play for Thirwolf. It's going to take a little bit of trolling for Thirwolf to get knocked back from the situation he's in right now. See, he could just do palaces. If he gets jacked up, having to hunt for something or doing the wrong play, Knightcrawler could catch up. But at this point, Thirwolf has a pretty healthy lead.
Yeah, however, the players are still in the race to get Thunder and Reflect. So anything can happen in that. And the cross in the desert tile.
and Thirwolf about to place his third gem in a hurry. And Knightcrawler is walking away from Palace 3.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting play.
Well, here's the thing. Knightcrawler might have knowledge on where New Kasuto is. Not sure if Thirwolf has found it yet, but maybe he's hiking over to New Kasuto really fast to see if there's a required spell item over there. I think Palace 4 might be on Valley of Death. Not really sure. But Thirwolf making the right play by just getting the palace out of the way. Yeah, in a race type and situation, you're gonna have to definitely want to go fast. If you see something and you can do it, just do it. Knightcrawler enters New Kasuto Town.
Yeah, at this point, Knightcrawler will have to cross all the thing all over. However, I don't know if we saw what palace was in Maze Island.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they took a look at it either, but yeah, I apologize. Thank you guys for the raiders from the other Zelda Speedruns 2 channel. I'm probably about 5 minutes late on that, but I didn't get indications on my side until just recently. And yes, Eternal Newbie, that is the Dragon Lord sprite. Thirwolf or Knightcrawler just picked up the Reflect spell, and yeah, it could possibly could have been the whatchamacallit, a Little Digger, which is just a 1-up dial. They found all of the important items at this point. I think he has literally everything but the flute that's in Palace 2, so anything else is just a heart container or a spell item at this point.
Yeah, I missed the spell that Thirwolf got out of Old Kasuto.
Amazing Emperor says that it was a life spell in Old Kasuto Town. Did Thirwolf find New Kasuto? And I'm guessing that possibly Palace 4 is possibly on Maze Island because Knightcrawler is hightailing it over there.
Yeah, this doesn't look like a very friendly Maze Island. The items were pretty close to the start, but the palace looks like it's pretty deep.
Did you see that? Did you see that lever just spawn over top of Knightcrawler?
Oh, yeah.
That was terrible. He's just walking, and all of a sudden he gets bopped by a lever, which take a lot of health from you.
Yeah,
and it's really rude when they just spawn on top of you like.
Yeah, I've had game overs like that, and they hurt.
That's the worst, and it shoot, I didn't see the front end of. Okay, this is Palace 6 that Knightcrawler is in right now.
So yeah, Palace 4 is on Valley of Death. So Knightcrawler's routing is kind of making sense right now because you have Thirwolf will have to walk back there anyway, so. And we have the mini boss for Knightcrawler, the Ribonek fight.
But here's the problem. The thing is though, Thirwolf is just nailing away at this seed, placing these gems, dude. It's gonna take a lot for Knightcrawler to be able to come back from such a lead. Oh, this is not the item, Rebo, Eternal Newbie. The item Rebo will have a blank side, The horsey head statues that are on the top, and on the item rebo, we'll only have one on the right hand side of the screen, whereas this is the pass through. You can see it has two horsey heads on one on each side. And he finds Barba quickly. If I were him, I would do this and get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah, definitely. Well, he's only looking for Thunder, and the odds of the trophy or something he needs being here are pretty low. But
actually,
that doesn't bite him.
At this point, we know it has to be a spell item because we've seen all the free spell towns. Nabruru had the shield spell, I believe. Guma sits on a child again, as we see on Thirwolf's screen. So please, Thunder, be behind the child in a deep search in Palace 5, please.
Yeah, and the medicine is on the boulder block cave on the west that the players now have access to because they have the hammer. And Thirwolf and Knightcrawler are gonna high five, but Knightcrawler turns it down and decides to take an intentional game over to go back on the west and maybe get that medicine and go for the spell in the town of Middle.
Yeah, you can see how Thirwolf, utilizing the fairy feet technique, which is allowed in this tournament, blazing through those encounters and just able to get in here very quickly. And it appears that Knightcrawler enters Palace 5. We know that this item may be required.
Yeah, that's a weird play. I will have checked about for the spell in the town of Middle first before taking this gamble. However, I don't know how far Middle is from this part of the map, so yeah, routing is also important, but I think not exploring Palace 5 is more important.
I mean, did they find the medicine?
The medicine is in the boulder block cave, and they have the hammer.
You already know that's going to be linked to the spell or something ridiculous.
Maybe.
It always is. Every time, like, I put all my eggs in that basket, like, well, maybe it's in Mito, and like, nope, it's the child underneath Guma every time.
Well, if it's a spell, the trophy could be in the spell tower.
Could be in Death Mountain. In like Spectacle Rock or Hammer Cave. We only know that one of the items in Death Mountain is a pea bag, but nobody knows if the other one's a spell item. So that would be pretty interesting if the spell item required for Thunder happened to be in Death Mountain as well, because these two Death Mountain is the last thing on their mind, and I know that they both don't generally like to do it, but it would be interesting if they had to jump into Death Mountain. These guys would they would, first of all, they both would probably be worried that the other player had already done it, but it would just be epic troll, and you know that that's what this game is going to do at this point. When you play it enough, it kind of gets you can expect stuff. And when it gives you the glove, you already know that you have to go on Death Mountain for a spell item. Spells are going to be the issue.
So we see Thirwolf walking out of Maze Island. I guess he's gonna go for Palace 4.
Probably so. He's probably going to go ahead and knock this out. He might do the medicine, because I'm sure he has a mental note of the medicine being on the west. And the border block cave being the last cave, which I believe is was it Trophy Cave that has the one of those caves has the medicine in it. Amazing Game First had mentioned earlier, and taking that gamble, which could possibly pay off. I mean, fire is still out there, and it's very likely fire. It's a 1 in 7 chance that fire could be linked to thunder. So.
And Knightcrawler got into the dead-end room. I don't know if he was expecting a key or something. That one, the one with the dripper, doesn't have anything in it. But yeah, he's getting his keys. So yeah, neither of the players have the magic key. So keys are pretty important if you don't want to waste your magic. I don't know the cost. I believe it is pretty cheap.
I would absolutely love Knightcrawler to just stumble onto the kid and have the kid be linked to the Thunder spell, because that would even this race up immediately, right? Because Thirwolf would have to. Left. So that would be very interesting.
Yeah, I believe he's kind of looking for it. I don't believe he's backtracking, but I believe he's kind of looking for the item, and he's betting on this being the play.
He's betting right. He's betting right, dude. It's either this trophy or medicine, so... Up and he goes left again, that's, man.
This palace is huge. That's why we don't want to look for the item in this palace. That's why we hate it.
Palace 5 is literally the same size as GP. The shortened GP, Palace 5 is the exact same size. And if I were him, if I were planning on fighting Guma at the end of this palace, I would probably take life 5. And he finds the item room. Oh my goodness, this is huge.
And Dick Shaggy is asking you a question.
It is what? It is. Did he just turn his back on the item? Did he just turn his back on the kid?
I don't believe so. I believe he got it. But...
Oh, he got it. Okay, I was getting ready to say, my stream was refreshing. It looked like he stuck his head in and turned around. Thank God. Thank goodness he got it. That would have been, man. If this turns out to be Thunder, whatchamacallit? If that turns out to be Thunder, and Thirwolf probably is going to do it, but he's probably going to be doing it reluctantly, and I don't blame him. Palace 5 item is generally one that I'd leave for last because it's not something that I want to do, but this may even the race out a little.
Yeah, well, what surprises me about this move is that this is the kind of move you will do if you felt like you were behind. And I believe so far Knightcrawler has played very well, in a sense that he shouldn't feel that behind. But well, he's playing against Thirwolf and he knows who Thirwolf is. So yeah, I don't blame him for taking risk and wanting to gamble for a victory. And there's Guma.
Yeah, at life 4, I can guarantee you that well, actually he doesn't hit too bad, and actually life and attack has been Guma's rolled down a little bit. It seems like he's got a pretty decent roll. He takes Guma out with ease, getting bopped a couple times at life 4, which is kind of amazing. Generally, life 4 Guma will hit you and take almost all of your life. So he got fortunate with the life effectiveness roll on this seed. Oh, if he casts shield, that's exactly that's what explains it all. And he's going for the spell item. Knightcrawler already knows. He's not Knightcrawler already knows that there's going to be something fishy with this seed, so he's going ahead and calling all the stops. He picks up the medicine.
Yeah, at this point, the thing that is very important is remembering where the towns are. And sometimes you forget that information. You don't want to end up going around Hyrule looking for towns at this point. Thirwolf does the same move. He's gonna go for the medicine, so we'll see.
Yeah, if this is Thunder, it's a pretty solid GG at that point.
And it is not.
Oof.
So the trophy is still in play.
Big oof.
So what would you do? I would go to Rudo and ask, where is the trophy?
Not if I was Knightcrawler, I'd hightail it over the just back over to the east and do Palace 4 and 3 really quickly. And turn in the kid in the process. And then if that's the case, then I would go looking in Naruto.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Knightcrawler doesn't know, but he the play he just made could have really helped him out a lot, because Thirwolf is really just hammering away at this seed. Yeah, I agree. A spell is an awesome role for Knightcrawler right about now.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks like he's on the Eastern Continent, digging around for whatchamacallit, for the Darinia town. Thirwolf is in Palace 5 right now, so let's see what he does.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't paying attention to how far Guma was from the item room, but I believe they were pretty close to each other.
The thing is, though, also that Thirwolf does have all the spells. He knows that a spell item is required at this point, so I'm pretty confident he's gonna go and do the right thing and dig out the child. But
Yep.
be interesting if Knightcrawler turns it in, realizes that it isn't what it's supposed to be, and it has to go on the Death Mountain or something. That would be great.
So yeah, moment of truth. We are in Denver.
It's either going to be fire or thunder. There's no other choices, but
It could be both.
yeah. Yeah, I'm with Buzz. I absolutely can't stand Denver. And the kid was deep in Palace 5, where Thirwolf is right now. This is the moment of truth.
And it is the Thunder spell. So let's see how quick Knightcrawler does 3 palaces. It's a pretty high call for him.
Up. Thirwolf finds the child. This is This is kind of a rip right here because Thirwolf is on the way to placing his last gem, and it's going to be kind of a tough go to get back to catch up to the progress that Thirwolf has made already. He's in the palace where he's about to place his last gem. I'm sure he understands and remembers where the town of Darunia was. So. Knightcrawler has to place three gems, like right now, and he's got 2 of them within his sights. And if I remember, Palace 2 was short, so if he just goes and finds the boss of Palace 2, the Great Fecalizer. I mean that's true as well, Dig Shake. He could find they could get wrapped up in whatchamacallit in GP, and then Knightcrawler happened to take the right way, and that could even things out. But as of right now, Thirwolf has got a commanding lead.
Knightcrawler going for the item in Palace 4. It was a hard container.
Yeah, I mean, if you go right, you run right straight into it. I think Thirwolf had found the item in Palace 4 as well. Mew Mew, interesting. I think Thirwolf does not have the stabs, but Knightcrawler does have the stabs.
I believe I saw Thirwolf getting up stuff.
Oh, he got the up stab technique as well?
Got down stuff way earlier, but I'm not sure.
This is Palace 3 actually that Knightcrawler is in, because that outside area is Palace 3 is the only palace that has an outside area. We have simultaneous boss finds. That's the other thing too. If Thirwolf has a difficult time trying, Thirwolf has a difficult time trying to find Denver again, so here we go. Palace 4, Palace 2, or the Denver find. We can see how long it's going to take by looking at the times when they both enter GP and see who's got the larger lead. Obviously, at this point, Thirwolf is going to be entering first.
And yeah, Palace 2 can be a nightmare. I don't know if Thirwolf followed. If he didn't up an A after he got the item, and how the routing in Palace 2 is, but sometimes Palace 2 is between a very lucky choice and a very, very unlucky choice. Okay, so Thirwolf getting the hint that Karok disappears with the trophy. So that's not that important, because I guess he will go first to the Darunia to check things out, but it could have been a great hint. So we see Knightcrawler in Valley of Death going for Palace 4.
Yeah, and it looks like Thorolf is about to, or maybe take a pass through cave. I think he's around the town of Naburu, which is not the town that he wants to find. This could be closer than we think it was, folks. Much closer, because Palace 2 was directly right next to the Great Palace. But as I say that, Thorolf enters Darunia town, so
Yeah,
It's,
taking that pass-through cave was a great move. I don't know if that was the only way to go there or not. I don't believe so, but yeah, it was a great leap in the.
and Nightcrawler is fighting Kurak. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be good enough. I believe Thorolf getting Thunder at this point is the nail in the coffin.
Well, Great Palace is the great equalizer, so we'll see what happens.
Knightcrawler demonstrating excellent play, coming back from what seemed to be a 4-gem deficit pretty quickly.
So yeah, let's see how long he takes in Palace 2.
Yeah, I agree. Amazing Empress 675 is kind of a funny leveling strat, but he's probably going to adjust it when he levels up next. I believe. At life, was that life 4 or life 5? It looks like life 4. He would get wrecked and like probably one-shotted by just about anything in the Great Palace at this point. And the Thirwolf enters the Great Palace.
Yeah, he entered at 1 minute, 1 hour and 1 minute and 31 seconds.
See what I was saying earlier? That he would have to do this Palace too if he maintained the lead. And now check it out. It's later in the game, and now he's got Palace 2 that he has to deal with at this point.
Yeah, and this Palace 2 can be very, very punishing if he doesn't take the right route.
He's headed in the right direction now. I think it's down this elevator to the right. And here's the boss. Yeah, I'm not sure if Thorwolf has the upstab technique. I mean, he wasted the fairy cast right there. I mean, I guess it saves a little bit of time. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Thorwolf absolutely destroying the seed.
So,
Nightcrawler
Yeah.
He enters at 1 hour 4 minutes.
So yeah, that's a 2.5 minute lead.
He does have the upstab technique. Yeah, I don't think Knightcrawler feels behind it, and I don't blame him. I mean, this has been a pretty free seed, and entering, I don't care who you are, but entering GP at this time always feels good. And Thirwolf going left in the trails room, always the play.
Yep.
This could be it, folks. This is pretty close. If Knightcrawler happens to make a left that Thirwolf didn't, and ends up at a different drop area, and at this point it's like a race to Thunderbird, and that could really change the outcome of this race here. However, Thirwolf does have a 2.5 minute lead going probably meta, so we're probably going to see a lot of Knightcrawler following the footsteps of Thirwolf. However, if he goes up in an elevator or makes a left turn that Thirwolf didn't, this could be a very even. This race could be much more even than we thought it was. And Knightcrawler going away. I don't think Thirwolf went this way. I think Thirwolf, but I don't know. I wasn't 100%.
Yeah, I think we haven't seen a paperclip room going from left to right. So yeah, different paths. And Thirwolf finds a dead end. And Thirwolf finding the top of the L7 room.
This is probably it right here. I feel like we've seen all the other drops, and this looks right.
Oh, he loops back into the
Oh my
drop.
goodness. Oh my goodness. I agree, amazing Empress. OI5 NGP is so rough.
However, Knightcrawler only has 1 life left. While Thirwolf goes back to the beginning, takes the ferry room to the left, and it leads him to an 1-up.
That's vanilla. Dig Shake, what's going on here? At this point, I think drops are pointless. Unless you take the right drop and then go the exact same route.
Yeah, we've taken all the drops, I believe. And yeah, they loop to each other. So Knightcrawler here is into a paperclip room that will lead him, if he goes down, to a waffle room. Then it will lead him to a drop that will lead him into the trails room. So at this point, one of the choices is going left at Jackimus or going left at one of the other elevators we haven't seen, like one that it's below a fan room after taking the drop. But I believe we've seen that play already. I'm not sure.
You can see Knightcrawler killing all the small enemies. I think he might be trying to go for the for a 1-up drop.
Yeah, being in the last life after exploring a lot is not a good feeling. So this drop will drop Knightcrawler into the trails room if he goes to the left.
Once you get into this area, you don't want to take the L7 drop. Straight up. If he gets hit twice by these bubbles, he's dead. Each one of these bubbles takes about 1 heart container. So he's got to play it very safe in here. Oh, he's able to afford 3 hits. Ooh, wow. He's able to afford 4 hits. He's on zombie links.
Oh no, a bluebird.
Yeah, that's
Will he survive? Oh no.
that's a big rip. Man, this GP, I'm telling you, man.
Yes, I told you it was the great equalizer and anything could happen. There is, at this point, Thirwolf has the lead, but he lost the lead some minutes ago and he just regained it, so anything can happen. And this one up at the beginning is like laughing in Knightcrawler's face.
Well, it could actually be very useful. If he had that 1-up earlier, he would have been able to progress further. Because if you recall, Thirwolf is in the room Knightcrawler died in. So if Knightcrawler would have had that 1-up earlier, things would have been much different for him. Knightcrawler going to see the other drop, which is going to be great information for him. Right? I don't know why he's going for the magic container. There's an enemy in that room. When there's a flying enemy or an enemy of any sort in that room, there's no chance for a red jar in the blocks. That only happens in the one room where the enemy isn't.
Okay, so here we have Jackie moves to the left, which is one of the options we have left behind. If not the only one. I'm not sure about one elevator that is in other section of the palace. But
oh man, this just got really close. I mean, Knightcrawler has the information of, and this is absolute. You can already tell that this is absolutely going to be the way. But Knightcrawler has the information that last drop is garbage. So once he gets back to that the trails room, he knows to go left, and it's going to be an easy. Yeah, I agree with Buzz Thunder 100%. This is the Dark Magician room right here. He has a chance for a red jar. He's probably not going to go for it because he's got full magic. However, Thunderbird is almost absolutely on the end of this room. And here's Thunderbird.
So yeah, Knightcrawler is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rooms away from where Thirwolf is. So yeah, it's a pretty big lead at this point.
Yeah, Thirwolf is just nailing away at Thunderbird. He lost the pendulum pattern there for a second, but he's got him back into that swinging motion, making it easy for him to take out the turkey. He needs to be careful, though. He's only got 1 hit left. There he goes. He takes the turkey down. Jopo 1226, Dark Link, maybe right after, or there may be more Great Palace. I'm pretty sure he's probably right after that. And that is going to be a GG, probably more than likely, unless the Thirwolf is on his last life. But I think that Thirwolf has a life to spare.
And GG.
Get your GGs out in chat. Thirwolf finishes at 1:14:01.
Oh, and Knightcrawler is going to the right at Jackimus because he hadn't been there, I believe.
Hopefully he
So this will take a while.
Well, it won't take too long. If he sees the drop and takes it, he's in big trouble. Hopefully he remembers that drop room that was just before with the whatchamacallit. The drop room that took him all the way back to the Eon drop. To the left of the Eon drop room.
Yo, what's going on?
AGG Thirwolf, that was quite a race you put on. That GP, man.
Yeah, the last drop it was really punishing.
Would you believe it if I told you that you had a 4-gem lead on Knightcrawler? And he ended up coming back. You guys ended up. Ooh, he took that drop that took him back to the beginning again. Sheesh. But he ended up digging the item out of 5 and getting the Thunder Spell a little earlier, which helped him out. But he skipped Palace 2 where you had already done it. So at the end, when you both were entering GP, well, you had like a 3-minute lead in GP because he had to jump in Palace 2.
Ah, yeah, I knocked that out real early. And left the kid behind in 5. Do you know what fire was combined with by chance? I'm just curious.
No, nobody got fire. Did you guys get the trophy hint? I don't think he went in for the trophy hint.
I got it on the off chance kid wasn't it, so then I'd know where to go. And it was in 4, but yeah.
Yeah, fire. I don't know. It didn't look like it was linked to the jump or shield or reflect. So I'm guessing maybe life, thunder,
maybe spell.
Yeah, possibly
fairy.
spell. Yeah, fairy is a possibility as well. But there was a point where you both were in GP and he was digging around. He's basically following your footsteps. But there was a time where he had taken a path that you hadn't taken and ended him up looping back into the trails drop. And then he was ahead. I mean, technically, quote unquote, ahead for like, I don't know, 10 seconds. He died to that blue Faka that was in the waffle room. Yeah. That's so rude to put that guy there because it's like he's gonna be on your butt the whole time and just trying to maneuver around him and break the blocks. It's a really difficult task. But he ended up taking a game over there.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, but I mean, you had a solid lead the whole time. I mean, it was he whatchamacallit, he just happened to be in that room. You either took a game over or an up and A, I can't remember. And we're I think it might have been a game over and ended up at the beginning of GP, and he was on his last life. He was kind of just tanking stuff, and like I understand, he was just trying to hurry up and find Thunderbird fast. But at life 4 he had when he entered this palace, either life 4 or life 5, everything was just destroying him.
I didn't have problems with experience that seed, so interesting that he's life 4.
Yeah, he used an interesting leveling strat. He overflowed the gem and focused mainly on attack.
But yeah, I think I saw every room in that GP, and yeah, what can you do?
That was a rough one. You entered at like 102 and you finished at 114. It's got to be nerve-wracking. Even when you enter GP at such an earlier time, you know that your opponent was dealt the same seed, so that's anxiety levels skyrocket, because it's like, well, shoot, he might have been in at the same time, he might have been in before me, and then you get dealt the GP like this, and it's like, oh my goodness, did he take the right left-hand turn or whatever?
Yeah, the spell situation I figured was not good for me. And then when GP dragged on, I'm like, well, he's probably in here at this point, definitely. So,
well,
the path was silly.
It was definitely silly. And early on, I was like, they gave you guys the glove, the raft, the fairy spell so easily and early, and I was like, man, this is too good to be true. This is exactly what Swiss does. It hands you some good stuff early, gets you excited, and then all of a sudden you have to dig out the item at 5, and then call it maybe commentator curse, but that's what ended up happening. When you guys went to Darunia and Grimace sat on a child, I was like, oh my goodness, look, dude, there it is. They're gonna have to dig the child out probably, and he didn't even go and he didn't find old Kasuto. He just I guess took the gamble and it ended up paying off.
No, I was going to find old Kasuto because, yeah, I was missing both Thunder and or Reflect, so I'm like, I need at least a free spell here. And it was Life, which, whatever.
Man, this GP though, in the Discord, someone had posted, Amazing Toaster actually posted a seed earlier, and I did it. And the GP was the same. It was like really cryptic, really puzzling. You had to make that magic left. None of the jobs seem to be putting you in the right area, and that's what this randomizer does. That's part of the excitement about it, because someone could have a lead and then someone come in and just destroy Great Palace. And man, you just really you did really well in this seed, man. You played it perfectly. You saw Palace 2 and just did it, because why not? You had the glove and the fairy spell, so you didn't even have the glove when you went into Palace 2. You just said, screw it, I'll do it.
There's one room. What are the odds? And,
Yeah, I mean,
if need be, then, yeah.
It was definitely the correct play, because it was short. Glove wasn't really required, and you had already had the hint that glove was on the Western continent, so either way, you knocked a gem out early, and it ended up paying off really well, because you had a significant lead entering, and the overall gameplay, you just destroyed everything. The T-Bird fight was pretty good. At one point, you knocked him off the pattern a little bit, but whatever, it happens.
Yeah, I kind of lost focus in the middle of that, and had to regain control of the fight, but it worked out.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but when I'm in GP in a race situation, like my nerves are just racking. I'm just trying to dot done as fast as possible. And it's nerve wracking, because I've been in situations in races too, like where you're fighting T-Bird at the exact same time as your opponent, and it's like,
And I was not surprised to see Dark Link right there after that GP.
Yeah, the GP was definitely, I wouldn't say big, it was just confusing.
There was a mini loop in there, and yeah, 3 drops required, while the 4th drop took you back to the beginning, so yay.
Yeah, and it was crazy because Knightcrawler had actually gone left at the Eon drop room, saw that there was a beat drop, and then ended up taking that drop anyhow, I guess by mistake. He went right at the Jackman's room, and Victor and I were like, no! You'd already finished, though.
Yeah, left at Jackman's was definitely what you had to do, but who knew?
Here he goes. He's going the right path right now. So I think it's a Victor. What was it? 3 rooms? 4 rooms?
Yeah, he's gonna go through a paperclip room, which he's in. Then he will go to a waffle room, and there's Thunderbird. So yeah, he's 1 room away from Thunderbird.
Very exciting race. I mean, you dominated the majority of it. You were way ahead. That spell item kind of threw a wrench into things. But GG, man, you really knocked this one out of the park.
Thanks.
Yeah, congrats on your first victory, man.
I'm no Buzz Thunder, but I'll take it.
Knightcrawler enters the Thunderbird fight. Let's see his approach on it. I've seen a bunch of different strats people use. generally it's just the pendulum strat, but yeah, he's going pendulum.
I love how he despawned the fireball that was about to fall on his head using the thunder spell. That looked a little bit swaggy.
Yeah, Knightcrawler is really good at this game. However, he doesn't play it much. He's won weeklies before. He's no slouch, that's for sure. But he generally sits. He does a lot of the commentary for the weeklies, and perfect Thunderbird fight doesn't take one hit, and he makes a lot of these sprites. A lot of these sprites he made. Well, this one definitely he made. But there's some sprites in the randomizer program that you can choose to play as, and he made a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his sprites.
He puts a lot of work in, and he does this. He works on every single animation. The Yoshi sprite, you actually save Birdo instead of Zelda, which I think is awesome.
I need to watch that ending scene. I haven't. I've seen the sprite, but I haven't seen the ending scene.
Oh, it's cool, man. He did a really excellent job on it.
And GG! Knightcrawler finishes in second place with a time of 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 28 seconds.
That was an excellent race from both of you guys.
Yeah, so we'll get to talk to him soon.
Yeah, Knightcrawler has agreed to join us in chat for the interview.
Hey
And
guys.
here he is. Hey man, GG.
GG, Knightcrawler.
Thanks. I felt pretty confident until GP. So I'm guessing Thirwolf entered a few seconds before me or something.
3 minutes.
Yeah, Thirwolf entered 3 minutes before you.
Okay, gotcha.
The thing that he did that I think was paramount in being ahead in this race was when he entered Palace 2 early on with the fairy spell, he just went ahead and did it. And towards the end of the race, when you guys converged towards GP, you still had that gem you had to place. So Thirwolf, while Thirwolf, literally as Thirwolf was entering GP, you were entering Palace 2.
I mean, yeah, sure, but I mean, I don't think that was necessarily bad routing on my part. I think he must have picked up some time somewhere else.
He did a lot of, when he saw palaces, like he just kind of did them.
Yeah, Palace 3 too.
Yeah, you walked and saw Palace 3 and walked away from it and went back to go to New Kasuto after you had found the hammer, which is a play, but he did it. He got 3 out of the way, and you then had to walk back around the Eastern Continent again to visit 3.
Well, I didn't. I wanted to eliminate the last item that I needed, I think, at that point from the possibility, so I wouldn't have to search 3 for the item. But of course, the first room in Palace 3 was the item room, so.
Yeah, and it was a hard container, but when you found the kid and got the Thunder Spell, that kind of evened things out, because Thirwolf went on handing in the medicine to see if that was worth it for Thunder Spell, and it wasn't. I think it was the spell,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, or maybe that was a New Kasuto. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But
it was spell.
It was a spell that wasn't worth it, right? And you had gotten the child from Guma who had been sitting on him, and when you turned it in, it was a Thunder Spell, and Thirwolf had still been. So when Thirwolf was doing the Thunder Quest, you were at that point had Thunder and were retracing your steps and placing the gems. Had you have done Palace 3 when you were right there in front of it and not had to loop around, it, you might have entered around the same time.
Yeah, and if I didn't game over or take the wrong drop, then it could have been a thing.
Yeah, that GP was fun.
Yeah, it was. I knew better than to take that drop because I had seen some dead ends, but I just took it anyway, like a fool. So, that's my fault, really.
I don't blame you. This game fries your brain slowly.
Yeah. And I think after our game over, I even messed up the starting loop. So I wasted like another minute there. So yeah, after Thirwolf finished, yeah, unfortunately my race kind of fell apart a little bit, but I still think I did pretty well overall. But yeah, Thirwolf is very good at this game. He's an excellent racer, so it's kind of what I expected. But I felt pretty good when I got Thunder. Not quite good enough though.
Yeah, Thunder was definitely the onion in my ointment to slow me down, but with helpful hints, I was able to, figure out where I was supposed to go.
With a
Just
little
didn't
helpful
wanna
hints
go
from your
there.
friend. Well, song reference. I just saw that yesterday movie with my family on Sunday. So, anyway, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty cool seat all in all, though. So I was pretty much enjoying that seed for the most part.
You'll get some wins in. I'm pretty confident in that.
For sure. Next up, then Dig Shake. And
No, I think I'm gonna get one of those, and maybe Buzz, and
Trails?
yeah.
Trails lost.
yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Buzz is good, but it's rare to see Trails lose.
Rip the 0 and 1s because whoever I get paired up is going to get destroyed. I'm not making it to the brackets.
Yeah. If you're faced off against me, I'm gonna hope I get one of those thunders like I did this time. Something to put me ahead because I'll need it against someone like.
I'm definitely out for blood, and Buzz Thunder is an excellent opponent, and he entered GP way earlier because I think he finished at the 1 or 2 mark. The GP that we had wasn't really too difficult; it was pretty straightforward. Had I found the glove in Death Mountain and continued on, who knows? I may have still lost, but it would have been much closer. I did a lot of unnecessarily digging.
Yeah.
I was very pleased. Death Mountain was irrelevant this season.
Yeah.
I said nice. That. I said that. I was like, Thirwolf hates digging Death Mountain. So, and then,
I love Death Mountain, but I actually made the choice not to do anything with Death Mountain until I needed to this time. So that's why I wasn't 135 or something.
I got that one hint from the grave tile lady about a 500-point bag there, and I'm like, well, that really makes me not care.
Yeah, I got that hint too, and I was like, probably nothing there. That old granny really pulled through for us.
She did. She did some good work there. Well, thanks for the commentary, guys. Restream, all that fun stuff.
Hey, thanks for the awesome race. You guys, it was a very, considering you both had a couple little struggles, at the end, you guys kind of converged almost at the same time, negative 3 minutes or 2 minutes and change. And it turned out to be a really exciting race. The GP was really nasty, which made it kind of anybody's game. But of course, Thirwolf, you're an excellent player, and you had a 3-minute lead, so you were able to do all of the exploring and figure out the puzzle quicker. But it was a great race. You guys entered GP. You both were in there together, so it was awesome to commentate. And thank you guys for the great race. I don't know what else is going on. I don't know the
Zelda
speed runs, their schedule.
Oh, is it time for me to pop in with the shameless sellouts?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Okay, well, this is the final match here on ZSR today. So, when we're done, we're going to send you off somewhere else to go continue to watch cool Zelda content. Tomorrow, first thing we've got here on ZSR tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC, we have the Beta Quest 1v1 Lockout Tourney. Semi-finals, Bonnaroo versus Senzo. So that's going to be a really cool match, and that is, like, fourth to last of all these matches, because we're at semi-finals now. There's just those 2 semi-finals matches, Grands, and the Bronze match. So we're really getting down to the end of that tourney. Afterwards, we've got more Zelda 2 Randomizer, a lot of it. At 7 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UTC, we've got Riku Player versus Amazing Ampharos. That is scheduled to be here on ZSR, main channel. Afterwards, we've got... somebody's mic is picking me up.
Fails.
We've got the Alan Heffley versus Amazing Toaster, and Cross Product versus Fawn2D2 at 9 p.m. We aren't 100% sure how we're going to be doing that, if we're going to have those 2 separate races on 2 separate channels, or if we're just going to do a large 4-way race and only count the folks who are competing against each other. I know it's still kind of up in the air, and I haven't heard a final ruling on how we're going to handle that, because volunteers, you know, hey, we still need some of those. So hey, chat, if you enjoy these funsies... Can I type correctly? Yes, I can words. If you enjoy these funsies and want to get involved, we could use additional trackers. If you're knowledgeable at this game and have experience with it, we could use additional commentators. I started tracking with only having played vanilla, so yeah. Vanilla when I was a kid. I've been doing tracking for these last couple days. If you enjoy this and want to be involved, we would love to have you be involved and help lend a hand, because makes things go so much smoother when everybody knows what the hell is happening. So we've got the BQ match earlier in the day, and then we've got the 3 different Zelda 2 Randomizer matches coming up later in the day. And so, very excited for all of that. And then we've got even more content coming up later. On Thursday, we've got 2 more Z2R matches. On Friday, we've got another Z2R match, plus the OTR Freaky Friday race. We've got tons of stuff that I'm not going to try and rattle off over the weekend. So, hopefully, you know, we'll be able to have lots more fun with randos and vanillas and all the coolsies.
Yeah, I apologize. That was me echoing with my push to talk. Quick question. Is it cool if I do a quick plug for Z2 race about to happen? Or?
Yeah, that's fine.
There's about to be another Zelda 2 randomizer race on Speed Gaming 2 at 9 p.m.
Ah, yes, the weekly. Is it the same flags as this race that we've just finished watching, or are they playing under different rules?
We're actually playing under different rules. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. There's going to be no candle at the start. The enemies are going to be mixed. There won't be extra keys. However, the drops will still be in place, so keys may drop. It's going to be one more notch of difficulty up. You'll be seeing players in crazy combat situations where large enemies will be dropping on their head in enemy encounters, in the overworld encounters, and they'll have to fight all sorts of really big enemies. It's kind of, it's definitely much different than this as far as combat.
Is that going to be kind of a preview of what we'll see once we hit the brackets rounds later on, or is this, you know, different style of randomizer play?
Nah, this is going to be the bracket flags that we will be seeing on the next round of the tournament after the Swiss rounds. So, yeah, it'll be a taste of what is to come.
Okay, so if folks are interested in checking out more Zelda 2 Randomizer, as I've said, in about 20 minutes, the weekly is going to be starting up over on Speed Gaming 2. So if that sounds cool to you, go enjoy. I am Lost the Pirate. I've been one of your trackers for today. The Alan Heffley was our other tracker tonight. Thank you to him. He wandered off when his runner was all done, which is just fine. That's what we do. Thank you so much to Victor and Trails for making sure we knew what was happening and letting us, like, understand what we were experiencing here for those of us who are newer to Zelda 2 Randomizer. Very much appreciate all the detail that you guys are really trying to stuff in there to make sure we learn and that we can follow what's happening. It is very refreshing to like be able to start following what you're seeing as opposed to just kind of trying to smile and nod.
Yeah, but no, thanks to you and the team of Zelda Speedruns for making this possible. So yeah, we'll see you in the next race then, and yeah, keep posted for the Zelda 2 randomizer races and streams and everything.
Yeah, thanks very much for having us.
And yeah, GG to the racers.
Yeah, any final thoughts on this particular seed, Knightcrawler?
It was fun. It was fun. It had some tricks, but I like a few tricks. I also like Death Mountain, so I didn't get that. But next time.
Okay, well, folks, thank you so much for watching. We hope to see more of you tomorrow. As I've said repeatedly, there's so much more to come. So, we will hopefully see y'all here soon, and enjoy the rest of the evening or whatever it is wherever you're at. enjoy your time, whatever time of day it is. We'll see y'all here later.
Bye.
Good evening.